Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link, and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hey there, kids. How are you doing? Welcome to today's class. Today is the second class of our general knowledge course where we're going ahead and talking about a bunch of new and important things. Now, in the last class, we went ahead and spoke a lot about logos and we spoke a lot about how they came into being. We spoke about a few facts when it came to logos and we spoke a lot about, the concept of the types of logos and, what formats there exist and things like that. Now, today's class is going to be another very enriching class that I wanted to go ahead and discuss with you. And it is a topic or a discussion that I feel every individual should end up, having at some point of time in their life because we go ahead and use this on a day to day basis. So, the topic that we've gone ahead and picked for today is social media. Now, if you are someone who has a phone, or if your parents have a phone, or let's say you even have a computer, if let's say you're going ahead and even like WhatsApping someone or emailing someone, then you are going ahead and using social media. So social media is something that exists day in and day out. So that is what we're going to go ahead and discuss today. Now, before we start our discussion, let's talk a little bit about our certificate program as well as our submissions. Now, coming to our certificate program, like you all know, you're getting certificates for the work that you're going ahead and doing. The only thing that you have to go ahead and do is make sure to attend all of your classes and make sure to go ahead and submit all of your submissions. So if you go ahead and do both of them, then automatically you will get a certificate. Now, apart from that, like you all know, you have the chance of getting selected as part of the top 10. But irrespective of what you're going ahead and doing in those lines, I want you to go ahead and do your submissions, because as a teacher, I see your progress, or I see your growth, or I see how well you're doing only when I look at your submissions, and that's what I want to go ahead and focus on. So make sure to go ahead and do your submissions, because I want to see your growth, I want to see your improvement, I want to see how well you're doing. So now let's talk a little bit again about our topic at hand. Like I mentioned, social media is what we're going ahead and talking about. Now, today is again going to be another class where we do a little bit of art and illustration, or a little bit of art and drawing, while we go ahead and do our discussion. So for that, let's get started with the list of materials. The first thing that you need for today's class is going to be a sheet of a paper. So you can go ahead and grab any sheet of paper you have with you. So here I have sort of like a sketchbook or a drawing book with me. If you have a sketchbook or a drawing book like so, you can go ahead and grab that. If you do not have either and you have like probably any full size sheet of paper or any unruled sheet of paper, that would work absolutely well as well. The next thing that you need for today's class is going to be a set of sketch pens. So go ahead and have a good set of sketch pens with you. You can see here I have the Faber-Castell set of sketch pens. If you have more colors, less colors, completely works. Just have as many as you can. So the first thing that we're going to do for today's class is we're going to go ahead and just draw a bunch of circles. Now this is going to be sort of like a prep before we go ahead and actually start our discussion, because I don't want to go ahead and do this later. So take like a bottle cap or a bowl, or go ahead and take, freehand, just go ahead and draw a bunch of circles. Now I'm going ahead and drawing 5 circles because I want to go ahead and draw the logos of 5 social media platforms. If you feel you want to go ahead and draw a few lesser ones, then you want to go ahead and draw probably just 2 or 3, or let's say you want to go ahead and draw more than I am, then go ahead and draw those many circles. So according to what you want to go ahead and do, draw those many circles. I'm going ahead and drawing 5 because I feel that's a comfortable number, and I'm going to be going ahead and discussing those with you today. Now, while you go ahead and do this, let me give you a little bit of an introduction to social media. So, social media, what is it? So, we use it on a day to day basis, but what is a social media exactly? Now, social media is basically all about interaction. So, social, the word itself is basically the meaning of it is socializing. It is to go ahead and interact with people, it's to go ahead and communicate with people, it's going ahead and doing discussions, it's going ahead and talking, it's going ahead and going ahead and sort of creating ideas, creating thoughts, and having discussions on that. So the whole concept of social media is exactly that. It's a media format, or it's something that we have a computer for, or we use internet for, or we go ahead and use our phone for in order to sort of interact. So it could be interaction of ideas, it could be interaction of concepts, it could be interaction of day-to-day lives, it could be interaction of news, it could be interaction of careers, it could be interaction of anything particularly that you can think of. So for example, right now social media, for example, even has influenced your education. So if you go on YouTube and you want to go ahead and like YouTube something and figure out, okay, how do I do this, or how do I learn this, then it's even a form of education, right? Because you use social media to learn something. So social media is basically any form of interaction in any concept or anything. It could be anything in this world that you want to go ahead and discuss, and you have a social media app for it today. And basically the concept of social media is that all interactions that are done are actually virtual. So you're not actually really or in reality sitting with anybody and doing it. It is all virtual communication that is happening. So let's say today you're going ahead and doing this class with me today. It is a virtual class that you're having. You're going ahead and doing it on your laptop, your computer, your desktop, your phone, your iPad, your tablet, whatever you're going ahead and learning from, you're looking at from it from in a computer, and I'm going ahead and teaching you via a computer. So it is again a form of social media, but not exactly social media. So since I've gone ahead and explained the concept of social media to you, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about the evolution. Now I don't want to go deep into the evolution of social media because the evolution of social media is relatively short, it's not that long. So let's talk a little bit in a few couple of sentences to understand where the concept came from. So after the development of the computer, and obviously after the development of the internet, people wanted to go ahead and start using technology as a form of communication. A very, very good example of a form of communication that was used in the olden days was instant communication via Gmail or via mail. So mail was what? Email, the concept itself is called electronic mails, right? So earlier you used to write postcards, you used to write handwritten cards that used to take 2 to 3 days to go ahead and get received by someone. But the concept of email basically came into play as something that could instantly be go ahead and seen by someone. So if someone has a computer on the other side, they can go ahead and see what you've gone ahead and send them immediately. So it's an immediate form of communication. So social media's history sort of starts from there. It starts from people trying to figure out how they can communicate with each other through internet or through concepts of a computer. So back in the day, probably in 1960 in Illinois, there was sort of like a research that was done wherein they went ahead and created something called the Plateau system. And this was probably the first kind of social media that was there. All they went ahead and did was they created sort of like a forum where people could go ahead and talk and have discussions. So basically, it was sort of like a concept where they could talk to each other, but online. Now, this might seem like something that we do on a day-to-day basis. So why is it that it is so unique at that point of time? Because that time, computers and at that point of time, communication via the internet was very, very new. So that was the start to what we have as part of social media today. Now, since I've given you sort of like a concept of where social media has come from and why it has come from, so then we can go ahead and start talking about the different social media platforms that we have today. So let's go ahead and get started with the drawing of the first one that I want to talk to you about, which is basically Pinterest. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil and I'm going to go ahead and draw the Pinterest logo. For this, I'm going ahead and drawing sort of like a line, and then I'm going ahead and drawing the famous P of the Pinterest logo that is there. Now you can go ahead and do this as comfortably as you like. Take your time. I'm just going ahead and doing it quickly because I'm going to go ahead and talk to you. Go ahead and take your time to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and take a red color sketch pen and start coloring out the outside of it. The Pinterest logo has the white P there and it has a red background in it. So that's what I'm going ahead and doing right here. Now, what you can do is you can go ahead and take probably a sketch pen to do this. If you want to go ahead and do this using paints, you want to use this doing this using color pencils, or you want to go ahead and do this via any other medium, please go ahead and do so. It's completely all right for you to switch out mediums in our general knowledge classes because it's a creative forum. I want you to go ahead and do it the way you like it. So I'm going ahead and done the complete outline, and now I'm going to go ahead and take my thick red color marker and I'm going to go ahead and start coloring this in. Good job everybody, really well done. Perfect. Excellent, excellent work. Really well done. Amazing, amazing job. Perfect. Good work everybody. So happy with how you're doing. All right. So while you guys go ahead and continue doing the Pinterest symbol, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the social media platforms that are kind of like Pinterest and are like Pinterest. So what is Pinterest? If you've ever gone ahead and downloaded the app of Pinterest on your phone, or let's say you've gone ahead and looked it up online, you will realize Pinterest is sort of like a visual platform. So a visual platform basically is a platform that has a lot of visual content on it. There is less of probably like audio content, but you probably have audio content that supplements the visual content. So to give you an example, if you've ever scrolled through Pinterest, you will find a lot of pictures. So let's say you'll go ahead and look up mountains. You'll find so many pictures of mountains. You'll find so many videos of mountains. You'll end up finding so many illustrations of mountains, probably artworks of mountains. Probably let's say someone has gone ahead and created a cushion cover of the shape of a mountain. You'll end up seeing that, but you won't probably end up seeing things like a data on a mountain. So you won't find any written text. You find probably written text supplementing your picture or visual text, and you'll have some audio text. So let's say if someone has put a video up in which they're talking about a mountain, then you have audio text in that manner. But apart from that, all of it is basically visual. So Pinterest, the concept basically is that they've gone ahead and created sort of like a virtual board. So they actually have the concept of boards and they have the concept of pins. So if you've ever seen an actual board and a pin, let's say you've gone ahead and you've created a note, you've gone ahead and written it on a sheet of paper, you've put it up and pinned it on a board. That's exactly the concept of Pinterest, that if if you like something that you see, let's say I'm going ahead and looking at nail polish colors, and I really like a nail polish color that someone I've seen online wearing, then I can go ahead and pin it on Pinterest and I can refer to it later on. So Pinterest is a visual and an platform wherein you have so much content and you have so much interaction, and all the interaction that is basically done is via pictures and via videos. And one other platform that is very very close to Pinterest is that of Instagram. If you have gone ahead and looked at Instagram, you will also know that it is very very similar to Pinterest. What it is, it basically is a platform where you have a lot of videos, you have a lot of pictures, you have a lot of spaces where people are going ahead and uploading videos on different content. So let's say if someone is a fashion designer, they're going ahead and uploading pictures of someone wearing certain kind of fashion trends, or probably they're going ahead and creating looks in videos, and they're going ahead and probably doing their makeup in a certain way, or they're going ahead and doing their hair a certain way. All of it is kind of portrayed through visual representations by that of pictures or videos. Now obviously, like I mentioned, there is audio as well, so it's audio visual, but mostly it is visual, because a lot of the time, sometimes, let's say you're not even looking at listening to what the person is saying, you're still gaining a lot of interaction, or you're gaining a lot of media through it. Now, since we've gone ahead and spoken a lot about the audio visual concept or social media platforms that we have, let's go ahead and move on to the next category or concept or type of social media that we have right here. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and draw sort of like an oval, and then I'm going ahead and making sort of like an arrow. So this is the messenger symbol. If you've ever seen Facebook Messenger, then this is the symbol for that. And it has sort of like a lightning bolt in the center, and the whole background of this is a blue color. So it has a light blue color, and the center portion of it is again a light blue. So here, go ahead and draw it as comfortably as you can, and then go ahead and fill it up with your sketch pen. Excellent job, everybody. Really well done. Good work. Perfect. Excellent work, everybody. Good job. So here you can see I've gone ahead and done the outline, and now I'm going ahead and filling up my circle with the light blue right here. Good job. Excellent work. Perfect. Really well done, everybody. So good you're doing. Really well done. Perfect. Now, while you go ahead and do so, let me go ahead and talk about this set of social media that I have for you right now. Since you've gone ahead and spoken about, audio visual platforms like Pinterest and, like I mentioned, Instagram, I want to now go ahead and talk to you about the concept of a messaging platform. So, if you go ahead and see Facebook Messenger, or if you go ahead and see the basic and the biggest used social media like WhatsApp, you will notice that this is sort of like a messaging platform. And another example of this, to a very large extent, would be Gmail or any form of emailing, company that is there. For example, you have Microsoft Mail, you have Yahoo Mail, you had Orkut back in the day. So all of that fall all into the category of messaging. Now, what is messaging? Messaging is basically basic communication. So let's say I want to tell my friend that, let's go ahead and have coffee tomorrow. How do I go ahead and do so? Back in the day, I would probably write a note to her, or I'd probably meet her in person. But now I have 100 messaging apps that I can go ahead and use to kind of communicate my message. So let's say I want to talk to my friend. I can obviously go ahead and pick up the phone and talk to her, or I can go ahead and drop her a text message and tell her that, listen, let's go ahead ahead and meet at this point of time, or let's go ahead and go for a coffee at this time. So Facebook Messenger, Orkut, which was a emailing website, or if you have Yahoo or you have Gmail, or the most well known, like I mentioned, WhatsApp, are all messaging apps or messaging social media platforms wherein you can go ahead and interact with people. It is all about communication. Here you may have some portions of audio visual. Let's say, for example, in WhatsApp, I go ahead and share a picture of myself to my friend. Then yes, you do have some form of visual. Or let's say I send I send a video to my friend. Yes, you do have some form of a video or audio in it, but a lot of the time it is all text related. So you're going ahead and sending them messages, you're going ahead and sending them phrases, you're going ahead and sending them paragraphs of content that they are going to then read and then again reply back with the same concept. Now this, I guess, everybody is very familiar with, so I don't really have to dwell deeper into it. So then we can move on to the next category that I have for you today. So I'm going ahead and again grabbing my pencil, and I'm going to go ahead. Oh, sorry, I'm going ahead and grabbing my sketch pen, red color sketch pen. I'm not drawing for this one, and I'm going ahead and drawing sort of like a triangle. And now this one obviously was a lot easier to go ahead and draw, so I skipped the pencil part of it, and I'm going ahead and doing the outline. Now this symbol you've gone ahead and seen in our last class. It's the YouTube play button, and that's what I'm going ahead and drawing right now. So go ahead and do the same. You can obviously go ahead and use a pencil to draw the triangle first, and then you can go ahead and start coloring it in like I am. Do it the way you are comfortable. Don't go ahead and rush into it, in a way that you are not comfortable. Good job, everybody. Really well done. Perfect. All right. So while you continue, let me talk about this social media platform that we have. So this social media platform, like I mentioned, is YouTube. Now, YouTube is one of the most famous social media platforms and the most growing social media platforms that we have in today's day and age. It is all video content. So you will rarely find pictures in YouTube. So YouTube recently came out with something called as a community post, where you can go ahead and share an image and write a little bit of text. But YouTube majorly only consists of videos. All form of communication happens through videos. So let's say I'm going ahead and doing an art workshop, and let's say I'm going ahead and creating an art video, and I want to go ahead and put it up somewhere, this video, then my place or my pick would be YouTube. I would go ahead and upload it there and make sure that everybody has a look at it. It's basically a platform where you can go ahead and upload all of your videos. You can create content. It could be any form of content. Let's say recipes. Let's say your mom wants to go ahead and learn some recipe. For example, she wants to learn how to make gajar ka halwa. How will she go ahead and learn? She can obviously look up a recipe, or she can watch a video wherein someone is going ahead and teaching them how to go ahead and create gajar ka halwa on YouTube. So YouTube is all related to video platforms. Now you obviously do have other video platforms that have come up over time but are not as famous as YouTube. I can't really tell you any platform that is very very famous or on par with YouTube. One could be Facebook, because it has the concept of Facebook Watch in it, but I wouldn't necessarily say that Facebook is exactly like YouTube, because they have some differences in it. So since I've already mentioned Facebook, let's go ahead and draw the symbol of Facebook, and I will tell you again how Facebook and YouTube are different from each other, and how Facebook is a little bit more different and more unique when it comes to it being a social media platform. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil again, and I'm drawing my Facebook symbol. So this again we had gone ahead and done in the last class. If you've attended that class, I'm just drawing a simple F, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my dark blue marker, and I'm going to go ahead and start drawing the outline of it, and then coloring the whole outside part of it in. Again, in the Facebook symbol, we have white in the center, and then we have the outside portion as blue. Good job, everybody. You're doing so well. Excellent work. Perfect. Really well done, everybody. Good work. Amazing job, everybody. Really well done. Perfect. Really well done. Good job. All right. So while you go ahead and continue drawing the Facebook symbol, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about Facebook. So, like I said, Facebook is a little different from YouTube. Facebook started off as a platform where you could go ahead and connect with your friends. It was a platform wherein you can go ahead and probably send a friend request and they can accept, and then you can put up things like statuses, you can put up pictures, you can put up videos, you can go ahead and put up location markers, you can go ahead and put up anything probably that you can think of. Facebook has as a concept. So Facebook probably is sort of like an all-in-one concept when it comes to a social media platform, but it's all related to talking to people. So when it started off like a communication between friends. So let's say I studied in a particular college with my friend, and then they moved away and I moved away to different cities. So how do we keep in touch? Then Facebook could be a very, very good format or a place where we could keep in touch, because they could follow me and I could follow them, and I could go ahead and put up information on it, on myself, and the person could see and be like, okay, so this is what they're doing in their life now, this is what they are doing in their life, this is what they are doing in their life. So Facebook is sort of like a life sort of space where you're going ahead and updating your life. Now Facebook from that evolved into many other things. Like I mentioned, it has concepts like Facebook Watch right now. So people have their own pages where they go ahead and create again video content that you can go ahead and see. But again, it's a small part of Facebook. The basic concept of Facebook is only in terms of keeping in touch with people. Yes, it has grown into many more things. For example, you can also go ahead and shop things on Facebook. You can go ahead and get career options on Facebook. So it has grown into a lot more things, but it doesn't specifically become only a video app, or doesn't become only a messaging app, or doesn't necessarily become only a video app or a picture app or an audio app or anything of that sort. It is more in terms of everything that is there. So Facebook, I would say, is probably the most versatile that we have out there, because it has so much details and so many different parts and layers to it as a social media app. Now let's get on to drawing the last app that I have for you today. This is called Snapchat. So this the logo of Snapchat is very cool. It has a simple ghost in it. So that's what I'm going ahead and drawing. I'm drawing sort of like a curve on top, and then I'm going ahead and drawing the hands of the ghost, and then I'm going to do the bottom part, which is just two lines coming out and sort of like a curve at the bottom, drawing the ghost. And the social media app of Snapchat has a yellow as its outer color. So that's what I'm going ahead and doing. I'm going ahead and taking my yellow, outlining it, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill it all in with the color on the outside. Perfect. Really well done, everybody. Good job. Amazing work. Really well done. Good job, everybody. Really well done. So happy with all of your work. Perfect. All right. So now let's go ahead and talk about this last category of social media that I have for you. And this is sort of like a hybrid social media. I would say technically all social media in today's day and age have become hybrid. I wouldn't say that any social media app is there out there that is specifically related to only one niche. So this example of Snapchat is sort of that. So Snapchat is basically a space where you go ahead and click a picture and you send it to someone and you show show them what you're doing, but you are also going ahead and writing a little bit of text into the picture. So this becomes sort of like a hybrid, because you have both pictures and you have text, because you can't really communicate without the text part of it, but you obviously do have pictures as a very, very big part of it. So if you go ahead and look at most social media platforms that you have in today's day and age, you sort of have this hybrid nature going everywhere. Snapchat was one of the first that was, completely a hybrid. It wasn't, just a messaging app, nor was it just a photo app. But other social media platforms that I have gone ahead and sort of researched and studied on, most of them tend to have, one element of it, and then you have a little bit of a mixture of a lot of things. For example, let's take YouTube, for example, mainly a video app, and then you have a little bit of extra going everywhere. WhatsApp, mainly a messaging app, but you have a little bit of extra going. For example, you can put up statuses, you can send audios to people, you can send videos to people, you can send pictures to people. So you do have a little bit of everything extra that is there, but majorly it is only a messaging app. Snapchat is one of the examples where you have sort of like it being a complete hybrid, and obviously you have different versions and copies of Snapchat. So those are my hybrid categories of social media that are there. Now there are hundreds and thousands more forms and formats of social media that exist in today's day and age, but going ahead and discussing all of them would get really, really hard. So hence I divided them into these five categories. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do to make this class a little bit more enriching is I want to go ahead and give you some social media facts. We're going to go ahead and talk about five social media facts, and then we can get we can end today's session and discussion that we have today. So let's get started with the five facts that I have for you. So the first fact that I have for you is in regard to how many people are there on social media. So out of the 100% of people that have access to internet, 71% people in today's day and age use social media. So they are on social media in some form or the others. Think about it. So less than like 30% of people are on not on social media, which is such a large number of people. I would say yes, not being on social media, but think about the number of people who are on social media. So that's fact number one. The fact number two that I have is approximately in a day we spend around 2.7 hours on social media. I know that could be a quite a big number for some of you, but I feel that a lot of us may be spending a lot more time. 2.7 hours seems a little lesser, because I feel like we end up spending a lot more time, whether it is just messaging someone for some time automatically leads to probably 10-15 minutes, and we do message a lot of people over time, and we are on Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth. So probably 2.7 hours seems less to me, but it is sort of like an average taken out. The third fact that I have for you is about Facebook. Facebook is the most widely used social media platform. So like I said, because Facebook has all of these small aspects in it, it is not just one single app. It has so many hybrid parts in it. Social media, in terms of a social media platform, automatically it is the most widely used social media platform that we have in today's day and age. Now coming to YouTube drives the most engaged traffic in terms of social media. So if you go ahead and look at any social media platform, that is, if you have, let's say, Pinterest, or you have YouTube, or you have Snapchat, or you have Facebook, the most engagement or the most amount of time spent or the most amount of searches in a day that goes behind using a platform is in YouTube. People spend a lot more time on YouTube, obviously because it's video content and the content tends to be a lot more bigger and longer. So automatically it is something that exists. Now, the last fact that I have for you is related to a revenue, or related to money, or related to how the economy is basically growing. In 2015, we had approximate of $30 billion that were basically transacted using social media. So why is it that I'm giving you this fact? Now this fact basically gives you an idea about how social media has just not now related to social media. Social media is a lot more than that. People go ahead and buy and sell things, people go ahead and interact in terms of careers, and social media in 2015 ended up having $30 billion in terms of transactions. So think about what it might be today. It might be a very, very, very large number. Now, since I've gone ahead and shared those 5 facts with you, I hope you had a good time today. I had an absolutely wonderful time in today's class, discussing all about social media, giving you a little bit of an evolution, talking about the 5 types of categories that I had in mind, and then going ahead and giving you these 5 facts. I hope you go ahead and share this knowledge with the people that you think deserve to know this knowledge, or you go ahead and sort of write down notes and remember it for the future. Now, I hope you had a good time in today's class. Make sure to go ahead and get the certificate while you can, as well as make sure to go ahead and do all of your submissions, irrespective of how you've gone ahead and done today. I hope you had a wonderful time with me in today's class, because I did have a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, have a look at the submission video. Bye bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link, and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly